Hey man, you ever look into flat Earth?
Full zoom. Let me focus it just a little bit here. Stay there, don't lose it. Let me try to tweak the adjustment here. Now I'm going to go for the moon. Okay, I'm going to go through a lot of these fairly quickly, only because I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on all these other objects like the moon, uh, Mars, Saturn, or Venus, because my main focus is going to really be on Jupiter. Because I caught something one night very peculiar that I thought I'd want to share with everybody and see what they thought of it. So I'll put some of the dates up there. Um, they're not that important to me, but this moon was on the horizon more toward the west or east, excuse me. Um, so you have to wonder, at this time of the night, why the moon is lit up on that side when the sun is supposed to be, you know, pretty much under the earth, on the other side of Earth. I mean, if you use your star map and you turn around and you point it down toward the ground and around, you can see where the sun is supposedly in the sky. um, but I think we can flip that a little bit and make it work just like this. Maybe it's the sunlight shining on a phosphorescent um, mineral on the moon. It took me a second to think about the word I wanted to use for that, but mineral on the moon that actually will glow with light shining on it, and glow differently, different areas. That's why you got some areas that are much brighter than others. So again, I'm going to cut this and skip right to the next part. Now here's a little shot of Venus with the lighting turned down. Just wanted to get a nice one-time pass, maybe 2 times if I don't screw around with it and play around with the lighting more. Again, Venus is really tough for me because it's going, you can see the angle that it's going on. So you can tell it's low on the horizon. And again, come on here. Get it together, Dave. All right. Maybe the clouds blocked me out. There were some clouds out that night, or that morning, I should say. All right, let me cut this and add in some Mars, the Mars bar. Yeah, I'm not absolutely positive this is Mars, but I had noticed that Mars had been falling further and further behind Saturn and Jupiter. Saturn and Jupiter's been pretty much keeping up with themselves, and Mars seems to be like falling behind, which I don't know. It just seems like Mars, being that it would be inside Earth and the Sun, that it would be moving a little bit more faster. Um, but maybe that's perspective for you. I don't know. But let's move on to the next. Saturn, Venus. I know it don't take much time to put on dates and whatnot, but it's like 1:30 in the morning, and I want to finish this video, so I'm gonna kind of hurry through a couple of these other ones, and I'm gonna start with some well, one of Saturn here, maybe two of Saturn. Oh, I had these couple of little time lapses that I did of the moon and Venus. Um, did a couple time lapses that morning as the light started to drown out the moon and the stars. I zoom in a little closer on this one. I think the first one was a 25-minute one, but I stopped it a little short. And then I did 10-minute ones. You got to get up pretty early in the morning to catch these. Again, um, here's more and more light coming in, starting to really block me out a lot more. And then, like I said, I really kind of wanted to focus on Jupiter a little bit. You look at Jupiter, you can see ah the little so-called storm on there. I had another video that come out pretty good. I just couldn't find it uh, quickly to do a comparison, but you know, I use my light settings in the movie mode. Also using the fluorescent light setting. It's got 3 levels, 1, 2, and 3. I put it on number 3, and that would be in your daylight settings. Um, I also use the incandescence, which I'll show you. But usually I got my ISO turned down, to 125 or, a little bit higher. I got up to about 400, and it was just a little too much light, even using the um, manual compensation exposure, which you can find that in the same setting in the movie mode. Just got to know where to look. Play around with that camera. Play around with the active D-lighting too. I find that also plays a role in it. What else am I setting here? Um, yeah, the ISO low. Um, and then using the compensation exposure. Here's Saturn. I can turn the light up and down on it. Give it more light, less light. Um, I think 1 or 2 of these I did enhance um, and brighten it up a little bit and used a little contrast on a couple of them. I'm not sure which ones they were now. I kind of slapped this thing together. Again, my main focus was going to be on Jupiter because I believe one of these so-called moons is transiting Jupiter in the very last part. Um, and I'll leave it up to you, to basically tell me what you think it is when I do the comparisons of Jupiter. And you see Jupiter with different lighting on it. Um, it does make a difference. I think this was Jupiter or Saturn where I enhanced it a little bit, brought up the light, brought up the compensation, and um, I don't know if I really messed with the saturation on Jupiter or Saturn. I don't know why I want to keep calling it Jupiter. But think about these. These are gas giants. Uh, Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune. Can't remember the other one. There's like 4 gas giants in the vacuum of space. Think about it, folks. And I sped some of this up only because I wanted to really kind of get through some of these. But I thought they were pretty good videos. I'd like to post some of them just, um, you know, longer, but I'll cut out where I'm wiggling around trying to get it in the right spot because that is a booger sometimes. I mean, these cameras, you move them a smidget and you've got it moving a long way. Now here's Jupiter, and if you have your ISO set 400 or so, when you use your compensation exposure you can show the moons, and you see the moons flashing a little bit in here. If you're watching it on a cell phone you might not see them. Usually you got to look at these on a much bigger screen, a tablet, iPad, a decent sized computer, laptop computer. You'll probably be able to see these. But again, that's why I'm playing around with the light settings to get the best settings I can. Um, and then try to share those settings with people. I like to share the information instead of saying, oh, it's a secret or something. I don't want to tell you my light settings because then you're going to get the same kind of pictures I'm getting. Well, I want people to get the same kind of video I'm getting. I'm using the P1000. I am using um, it's on digital. So I'm getting the full um, zoom power of this camera that I can get. I'm also focusing it the best I can. And I do notice sometimes when there's some haze or some real thin clouds in the sky, and a lot of times you can see it down here in Florida. I just look at it as a lot of humidity. Sometimes Jupiter does look a little bit bigger to me, not much, but sometimes it looks bigger, especially when I cannot get it into too good of a focus. It definitely looks bigger. And again, I'm looking through a lot more watery atmospheric conditions. Um, Hemispheric conditions. I like that one better. Hemispheric conditions, um, instead of uh, planisphere. Um, Here's my air conditioning turning up. I hope that doesn't interrupt the video. But you don't see any big major black spots or anything on here. I'm going to go to natural audio.
We're gonna crank it up. Them other stars in there, or what they tell us is the moons.
Yeah, I forgot I left a couple of the natural audio in. But that's one of the things I like about the P1000 is while you're filming, you can turn the light up and down, and the manual compensation exposure seems to work better than the normal up and down. Turn the lighting up and down on the camera, especially if you have the ISO set right. Um, you'll see these stars. I was accused of faking Jupiter one time because they couldn't see the stars.
Okay, here's Jupiter. Trying to get it in between the clouds here. Took a couple pictures prior. Zooming in on it. I gotta just get a focus on it. I'm only at 200 ISO. Let me turn down some of that exposure. So if I'm turning it up or down, then might have to change that. I'm not. Okay. We'll do this all over again.
Yeah, I even tried the incandescent light settings on it, and here you can get a little more detail sometimes. Again, depending on some of the conditions out there, um, makes it really hard to get a good definition of the details. Again, here I enhanced it a little bit so you could see the moons, or so-called moons that they tell us they are. And what also surprised me too is my wife actually got a little interest and came out there, because sometimes I mean, I am talking usually to myself on my camera, so she kind of laughs sometimes and comes out to see what the commotion is, especially if I'm doing a rant. Again, I highlighted this or enhanced this a little bit. Um, but sometimes I do a rant and she comes out wondering who the hell I'm talking to. So it's kind of funny sometimes. Uh, but she copped a little bit of interest and came out and said a few things. I don't know if you'll be able to hear her too well, but I'm going to leave that natural audio on too. It's coming up next.
I see no fucking comet.
Brenda, that's Jupiter. Look
I
at it.
know. I thought we were looking for a comet.
The comet goes down right behind the sun. The sun goes down and it's to the north of the sun, northwest. That's why I went to Bayport, because I can't catch it here. It's too low to the horizon. And you got to get it right after. And you got to pretty much know the angle to look too, because
Well, there's too many big trees around us now.
yeah,
When we moved here, it was a little more wide open.
yeah, it was. That's not too bad for incandescent. I got it on incandescent lighting.
She was asking me why I didn't go down and try to catch the comet. Every time I did, there was always clouds in the sky. Um, um, and it was terrible. I'd get all the way down there to try to catch it, and like I said, every time I went there, there was just too much cloud, or I missed it because I worked late or I ate late, so I didn't get a chance to get out there. Um, so oh well. All right, I'll have to put a little thing in the beginning of this video saying that I saved the best for last. So hopefully it keeps people's attention, sparks their attention, and I can get somebody to watch it. But I'm going to take some, probably some screenshots. And part of this, I'm going to probably slow it down in one of the nice, um, evenly smooth, um, transit across my screen. Like this one, I should slow it down.
That might be the best I've ever gotten on it. I don't know. Wow, it'd be nice to shoot Saturn too, like this. I don't know if it'd look any better, but I'm gonna remember this setting. ISO's at 125. Active D lighting is on off, I believe. In the lighting section, I'm on fluorescent with oh, come on, I couldn't have been off that far. At minus at 3. And I got it on manual exposure and give it more or less light. I wonder if I turned up the light if I'd see the moons here. But even that's pretty good. Cool. mode. I'm going to try to get Jupiter. I don't know if I will. Or Saturn.
Like I said, I was going to slow a part of this down. I did slow a lot of this down right here. Again, I know I make long videos, and maybe I'll keep people's attention span with all the different observations I've made of Jupiter. And I've got a whole lot more. I just never really share them that often, which maybe I should share more of these than I have in the past. And maybe I'll get a few more views on these than I do on some of my other ones. Let me see if I got a little shot of Saturn that I did after this video. I'm not even sure I looked.
Nice. Well, I didn't even have to focus it. Sweet. Whew. It's almost 2 o'clock in the morning out here. But that's nice right there. That was nice. Let her come into the screen. Come on here. See here, we can darken it up, brighten it up. And yeah, you want it as bright as possible. I got all the lighting turned down in the movie mode using a manual exposure, and you know, I'm got the exposure all the way up as much as possible. It's a simple setup with the P1000.
Okay, instead of finding another Saturn, I found another Jupiter. So I thought I'd put Jupiter in here. And I sped these few pieces up. Um, Again, I want to kind of cut this video a little bit short. Yeah, if you want to call it short, right? Darn it. I want to try to take a couple of quick snapshots too of this as it goes across. Oh, it won't let me unless I pause it. Okay, I probably won't take too many of these snapshots. I was hoping I'd be able to take some. Or maybe I'll pause it, slow it down, and take some more. I was hoping I was going to turn the lighting up a little bit more in it. Maybe I'll pause it. Actually, you know what it is? Is it's going, there's clouds coming in and out. So that's why I ended my video that night. There's just too many clouds coming in and out, blocking me out. All right, well, I hope y'all enjoyed it. And again, I'm going to show some of those pictures I took, or screenshots I took And then that'll be the end of the video. Okay, these are the screenshots I took. I took 4 of them, all of the same one with the black dot on it. And if you look at all the other Jupiter footage, none of these black dots show up in that position or anywhere near there. So what is transiting Jupiter? Myself, I think it's one of the so-called moons. Can't be absolutely positive, but that's what I think it is. And then I did 2 comparisons, one of one picture, one of the other picture side by side. These 2 I couldn't quite get side by side, but again, the one on the right I think was taken on a different day. And then I used the zoom tool on them, on 2 of them, the two best ones, and then I do a side by side comparison. Or did I just take another picture? I guess it didn't come out. Maybe it didn't hit okay. But all right, thanks for watching. I hope you get something out of this.